Yo, guys, what's going on, YouTube? What's going on? What's going on? Yo, so check this out, man. you know, um, this past Saturday, this past weekend, this past Saturday, the 18th, you had Danny Jacobs versus, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. They were going against each other and stuff like that. But, I work on, in the hospitality services on the weekend and stuff like that, so sort of like security, hospitality. But, anyway, long story short, man, um, I'm walking around and stuff like that. The place is like packed, not too packed, but packed enough. At this bar or pub, and they got these tables. These big like standing tables and stuff like that, where you need like a stool to sit at. And so not too far from it is like a bar. So I'm like walking between the main bar, and these tables and whatnot. And then I see a dude looking at his cell phone. And so I walk over, and I'm like over his left shoulder, whatever like that. And guess what I see, man? I see Jacobs versus Triple G. And I'm like, oh, you watching the fight? He was like, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm watching a fight. And it looked like he had a stream or something like that on his phone, It was really bootleg. But or somebody was like watching it at their house or something like that, and they were like just holding the phone for him so he can watch the fight too. But that's what it looked like, So anyway, long story short, we got into it, talking about boxing and stuff like that, and when I noticed that he was watching the fight, whatever like that, I started watching a little bit with him. I noticed what round it was. It was like the 8th, and I was like, "What? It's the 8th round?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it's a really good fight." And so anyway, I'm just like, I was just happy, Jacobs was alive at the 8th by the 8th round and stuff like that. And then I started talking junk about like Triple G and stuff like that, and like, this is the first real middleweight Triple G has ever fought. And other dudes like, no, man, because he was like a fan of like Triple G. I was like, man, you don't even know who Jacobs is. He's like, do you? He was like, no, but Triple G is really good, and all this other stuff. So long story short, man, we had got into it, man. So I told my buddy, he's a boxing fan too. He was working and stuff like that. So I come around again. It's like the 10th round, and I'm just seeing highlights of Jacobs lighting up Triple G. Old boys like sweating bullets and stuff like that. And perception is everything. I'm telling you, perception is everything, Then I think they show like Jacobs, shoulder rolling and stuff like that. And then old boy's like, yeah, Jacobs, he's in survival mode right now. And then I'm like, what? I was like, I could have sworn I just saw him like light up Triple G and like rolling with punches and stuff like that. And then he's like, man, he's like in survival mode like Mayweather and stuff like that. All defensive and stuff like that. I was like, well, he's not allowed to like block punches and stuff like that. But I was like, whatever, man. I was going to ruin my opportunity to take a sneak peek at watching Jacobs versus GGG, right? So that was his feelings, because he was a real, GGG fan, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess you could say like fanboy, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I would probably say he was like maybe a fanboy, because GGG couldn't do no wrong, with this guy, you know what I'm saying? He was like, GGG couldn't do no wrong with this guy. And so, and I don't say it as, like a bad thing. I'm just saying like he was like an ultimate fan, he was like the fanboy ultimate fan, outside of him having a GGG, shirt and stuff like that, or memorabilia, he probably kept it at the house. I'm pretty sure he probably kept it at the house. So anyway, moving along, right? Um, I still gotta work, so I walk around again. I walk around again, and then I see him again, and it was like I think I looked over his shoulder. It was like the 11th, maybe going into the 12th or whatever like that, and then yeah, that's what happened. I walked by. It was like the 11th round, and then the 12th came up. And then you could tell it was the 12th because this guy like hammers down on the table. He's like da 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 da. It's like, come on, baby, like come on, like come on. And he was like focused, man. You would have thought he was like reading like I don't know Albert Einstein's memoirs or something like that. I'm saying, I'm, I'm saying, man, he was just like all pent up, with the cell phone in his face and his hands on his chin and stuff like that, and he looked worried. You know what I'm saying? He looked worried. He didn't look confident that GGG was gonna win, right? And so anyway, man, that 12th round was over. They were going to the scores, and he was just nervous, man. He was really nervous, man. He was really nervous. And then when I saw his face, and the way he was like acting and responding, he didn't look like he was confident that GGG was gonna win. And I was just like thinking to myself, Jacobs won, man. Jacobs won that fight. You know what I'm saying? Just by the expression on his face, I knew like Jacobs won. I was like, man, Jacobs won the fight, bro. I was like, this is a real hardcore GGG fan, and this dude was like just quiet going into that 12th round, and until the scores were read. And then when the scores were read and he found out GGG won, he was like, yes, yes. And see, and unbeknownst to him, he didn't know I saw him, raise his hand up in the air. He had his friend with him. His friend didn't look like he was into boxing. He was a little bit more flamboyant, so I don't think he was into boxing. But he was like, yeah, okay, he won, So anyway, yeah, man, this dude was a real fan of GGG. And then he was like, as we were talking and stuff like that, he was like, man, GGG has to fight Canelo next. But, I'm really torn because I'm Mexican. I love Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, it's whatever, man. I was like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'd rather see him like move up weight and fight Eubanks or Jamar Charlo or something like that. Another power puncher or something like that. Then again, maybe I just want to see GGG lose. I don't know. But anyway, at least he's facing like a full-fledged middleweight. I want to see him face full-fledged middleweight. I don't want him to deal with nobody that's got the Canelo weight thing going on. 1 minute the dude is like a super middleweight, and then he's like welterweight. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to deal with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what are you gonna say about a person like that on your resume? That was just a money fight. That's pretty much it. But anyway, moving along, man. This dude like tried to rub it into my face, and it's like, yeah, man, what's his name won? I was like, I know. He's like, oh man, I was like, it's like, how do you know? I was like, yeah, I just saw you celebrating over there, dude. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it was all good, man. It was good talking to a boxing fan. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's just like a hardcore GGG fan, and I was rooting for Jacobs, you know what I'm saying? I lost some money on that one. But, yeah, it was good, man. And I told him, man, it's like, man, I give GGG credit for, like taking the fight and, beating Jacobs, man. That was a good win. That was a solid win. You can't take that away from GGG. Even though maybe it might have been controversial, but the dude fought hard, man. He fought hard. He did what he had to do with the weight and everything like that. You got to give him some credit. Because if you rake Jacobs, you know what I'm saying, and he loses, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying. That's And then I told the dude, I was like, man, Martin Murray is a good, was a good one. Martin Murray. He was like David Lemieux. I was like, nah, I don't think so. But yeah, David Lemieux, Daniel Gill. That was a good win. And Adama, yeah, I thought this Adama guy was pretty good too, man. So yeah, I thought he had some pretty good wins. Stevenson used to fight at I think at super middleweight or whatever like that. I thought that was credible. Kasim Uma, that wasn't too bad. All right, man. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.